Okay, so you're probably wondering whether or not the last full measure is going to be a big movie or not. Let me answer the question for you right now. It's not going to be a big movie, and I'm going to give you the reasons why. Let's start with a little bit of fun information. At the start of the movie, you actually see the captain wearing shades, some sunglasses. They are shaped like Ray-Ban Wayfarers. The problem that I have with this is that these Wayfarers are fake. Why are they fake? Because Ray-Bans are not transparent. They're called Ray-Bans because they ban rays. For that, they need a tint. These ones are transparent. And the fact that they're in the field and it's a company of soldiers, you'd like to think that these are prescription sunglasses. Now, Ray-Ban does not have transparent prescription sunglasses. So check on the website. You actually go to the Ray-Bans and you look at the Wayfarers. All of them have got some sort of tint on them, ranging from blue to black and whatever. So the question I'm asking is, what's going on here? And actually later on in the trailer, you look at Scott and he actually has some Ray-Ban Wayfarers on him, some original ones which are tinted in black. So that's proof that these guys are not paying attention to detail. Then you look at the cutlets that are being read by Scott Huffman later on in the trailer. You can tell that the article is in no way pointing to what was going on in Vietnam, in particular Operation Abilene. Whatever research he was doing there has got nothing to do with the movie. You know, you just want people to pay attention to detail, and this will give you an idea of exactly what's going to be going on in the movie. If you look at RevCo, it's not a company that's involved with the US military in any way, as per my investigation. And if you actually check the story that's written on the cutlets, if you pause the trailer, you'll realize that it's just, you know, some of that random text that's copy and pasted. As you can see, different cutlets, different headings have basically got the same words on them. Then when you actually see the hero of the movie, Pitts, descending, at the start of the trailer you see his helmet does not have antennas on it. Then you actually check at the end of the trailer when Pitts is descending, the helmet has got antennas on it. So this actually points to a low budget movie. Lack of attention has been paid to it. I think this is just the distributor roadside attractions trying to push something out in line with their KPIs. Let me know in the comments below. Do you think that based on this poor attention to detail, this is going to be a movie which sucks, or is actually going to be a movie which is going to be proper? I think it's really going to suck. Let me move on to exactly why Pitts did not get the Medal of Honor soon after he died in the first place. Okay, so now we know that the movie is going to be a shambles, and you're probably just wondering what the storyline went like. So let me actually dish that out for you. Basically, Pitts, who is the hero in the movie, did not get the Medal of Honor quickly because the US Army was trying to cover their back. They were trying to cover the back of Major General Dupuy, who actually made errors in this battle that actually cost about 40 soldiers their lives and wounded 70 something others. So this is how it went. Major General E. Dupuy, as commander of the U.S. 1st Infantry Division, subsequently planned to lure out the Viet Cong VC by using Charlie Company 216th Infantry as bait. So first of all, Mr. Dupuy was trying to use other people as bait. These are people's sons, these are people's uncles, these are people's nephews, these are people's fathers that were used as bait. And do you know why they were being used as bait? Because the Vietnam War was being fought by America through their South Vietnamese allies, because they didn't want communism to spread throughout Southeast Asia. And this all came from the Cold War, blah, blah, blah. You can check in your history. So because of some political chess moves that were going on, people's sons, fathers, nephews, etc. were sent to die. And Mr. Dupuy was willing to use quite a number of them as bait. So this is the first thing that they were trying to cover up. Once the VC attacked the isolated company, Dupuy planned to rush in with either rifle companies to destroy the VC. The next phase of the operation began on April 10, 1966, with soldiers of the 1st Infantry Division moving into positions between Saigon and Vung Tau in search of the elusive VC D-800 battalion. Unlike previous operations, Charlie Company numbered only 134 men because of casualties, leave, and other reasons. In addition to the lack of numbers, the company was also cut off from Alpha and Bravo companies. So Dupuy, not only was he willing to use people as bait, he was willing to get in there with few men. It was basically not the right time, but he was willing to sacrifice people just to push an agenda there and then. And as you can see, tactically they were not positioned well, but he was still willing to do that. So these are some of the things that the American army was willing to cover up by not actually recognizing Pitts for his Medal of Honor. Why did they not recognize him? Because it would entail certain records being written down and stored and brought to light. When you get a Medal of Honor as a soldier, a citation is made. Now, the file with information that would have led to the citation was actually shelved somewhere just to cover up the mess. Continuing with the story, by the time it had become clear that the VC had taken the bait, however, Dupuis' gamble on other rifle companies arriving in time was thwarted by the thick jungle. Such miscalculations, gambling at war and missing the mark, are things that the US Army wanted to cover by not giving Pitts his Medal of Honor. So they hadn't even looked at the terrain to determine whether or not the other companies could come through and assist the 2 of 16th Infantry that they had used as bait. And as a result, people died, including Pitts. And to minimize casualties and break the ambush, the Charlie Company formed a circular perimeter with interlocking fire. The situation deteriorated as Charlie Company found itself increasingly isolated with only a distant hope of reinforcement. This was made worse when misdirected artillery fired upon Charlie Company instead of the aggressive VC forces. So first of all, the Charlie Company found itself in a situation where it had to use interlocking fire in order to defend themselves. Now, if you look at the trailer in the movie, the way Pitts and these guys are running around, that's not interlocking fire. Interlocking fire is when you actually get up into a formation that makes it hard for the enemy to attack you because of the way that you're positioned. I've just put an image there. If you look at the trailer, that's not what's happening, because if actually they followed that, I think it would further reduce the scope of the movie from the level it's at right now. I'm actually going to explain later how the scope of this movie is so narrow, which would actually serve to actually make it boring. So in addition to that, they were firing on their own men. You know what artillery is, right? These are long-range weapons which are used to actually, control a war from a distance. So the Americans were using artillery to protect the Charlie Company from the VC, but they ended up hitting their own men from the Charlie Company. So all those errors were in a file that was shelved by the US Army to cover their tracks, to cover Major General Dupuis' tracks, and as a result, Pitts and his family did not get their Medal of Honor until in 2000, when Scott, according to the movie, actually put pressure. So basically, this is the storyline. I don't know, do you still need to watch after actually learning exactly what's going to go on? Let me know in the comments below. And while you're at that, please subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bells, like and share the video. Another reason why I'm surprised that this movie is actually being produced is the Battle of Khe Sanh, which is the battle in which Operation Arbalene was conducted, is not even the biggest battle that occurred in Vietnam. Let me list the top 10 battles of the Vietnam War. Number 1 is the Battle of Ap Bac. Number 2 is the Battle of Pleiku. Number 3 is the Battle of Van Tuong. Number 4 is the Battle of La Drang. Number 5, we've got the Battle of Khe Sanh. Number 6, we've got what is called the Tet Offensive. Number 7, we've got the Battle of Hamburger Hill. Number 8 is the Easter Offensive. Number 9 is the Battle of Juan Loc. And on 10th is the Fall of Saigon. So the Battle of Khe Sanh is not even coming any closer. If you beg to differ, please let me know and we will talk to the facts, because that's what I'm about in the critique. This movie, why it was created, I don't know. Maybe you want to let me know below exactly why it was created. Maybe it had a file which was complete that people could read the script of. Maybe that's the one the army let them dish out. I don't know, but it doesn't look like it's the type of material that people would want to create a movie on. The plot, touching as it is not wide enough for this to become a blockbuster movie. As I already explained, the soldiers were used as bait and they were surrounded by Viet Cong soldiers. So it means that this movie will be shot, or it will be played out in a small area where these guys are surrounded by people, occasionally engaging here and there, shooting into a jungle and whatnot. This does not seem like a plot which will make a movie a blockbuster. It reminds me of The Phone Booth. I think Colin Farrell, if I'm not mistaken, where he was trapped in the phone booth. I also want to compare this to the plots of the top 3 movies in the war drama category. First of all, it's Schindler's List. I've already talked about that. You want to hear the plot? I think I'm going to attach a link to a review in which I talked about the Schindler's List. Saving Private Ryan is when 4 soldiers are at war, 3 are killed, and other soldiers are sent in by the US Army to get the last brother so as to reduce the amount of pain that that family was going to experience, just to keep the lineage going with the son. That's something that was very interesting. The Pianist is where this guy was playing a piano and then a war started, I think, between Germany and some other forces, and it went on like the pianist became sort of like a slave, and then he was helped by this German soldier who hid him in an attic as he played the music. At the end of the day, the pianist became free, and the guy who actually had kept him safe was left captured and died in some concentration camp later on. These are some very deep, touching, and diverse plots. When you compare to our movie here, The Last Full Measure does not measure up. And in terms of what you should expect from this movie, in terms of where it will end up, let me talk about the top 10 movies in the war drama genre. This will actually help you get an idea of what you're going to get. So the top 10, from number 1 to number 10, we have Schindler's List from 1993 at number 1, Saving Private Ryan from 1998. On number 3, we've got The Pianist, Apocalypse Now, Pots of Glory, Inglourious Bastards, Full Metal Jacket, The Great Escape, The Deer Hunter, and Platoon. You see, not sure if it's going to crack the top 10. Let's compare it to something which is way down the line, around number 20 something. We've got Fury, that Brad Pitt movie where they were doing what they were doing, going through the war zones. This movie is definitely not better than Fury. Those who have watched Fury and who have watched the trailer for Last Full Measure, you can attest to the fact that it's not going to be that good. So it'll give you an idea of what to expect. Definitely not cracking the top 2025 of such a narrow genre. And what actually makes it look more bleak for The Last Full Measure is the distributor who is actually involved. Like I always say, the distributor involved gives you an idea of what to expect. I mean, you can't go to a kiosk and buy some Gucci type of thing. This is what's happening here. Now, if you look at the distributor, they've got nothing going on in the top 10, top 15. This is Roadside Attractions, which usually focuses on independent films. I don't know whether The Last Full Measure is an independent film, but the quality is making it look as such. So the distributor has never brought out anything we're going to talk about in this genre, so don't expect it to start now. And you also look at the director. It's called Todd something. Sorry about that. Todd. Just hold on. Todd. I'm checking out for him right now. Todd Robinson. Right, sorry about that. Todd Robinson actually has the reputation of his movies getting worse and worse in terms of rating as we go movie for movie. Let me actually break it down. His movie The Four Diamonds rated 7.4 out of 10. Then the next one, Wild Bill, Hollywood Maverick, 7.5. White Squall, 6.6. Lonely Hearts, 6.4. And his latest theatrical release, Phantom, coming in at 5.8. So this guy is actually getting worse. And looking at the trailer, I don't think it's going to get much better. So in terms of a rating, I'm actually going to put the rating at around 6 to 6.4 if he's actually lucky. So basically what I'm recommending is, this is a movie that you should not waste your time watching, unless of course you're attached to the storyline in a certain way, like you're a veteran and you want to connect with that. It's okay, but don't expect to be entertained while you're actually at it. So basically this is my reaction to The Last Full Measure trailer. Touching story, poorly executed, nothing to look forward to. Ratings wise, probably 6 to 6.5 out of a 10. Let me know if you beg to differ or if you agree. Just comment in the comment section below. Subscribe to the channel, click the notification bell, and I'll see you in my next reaction. It's The Critique signing out. Cheers.